Hey guys, check it out. Today we're going to start the process of assembling this very complicated hood for the M40C build. Welcome to iNVision Prototypes, I'm Nick. Over the past while I've been really busy developing and fabricating the structure, the part that supports the hood skin. And today we're almost at a stage, where we can get the structure and the hood skin joined together. And it's at this point I'm going to bring you guys in and kind of show you the shape of the structure. To do it earlier would be kind of like waving a stick in water. I know I say that a lot, but trying to illustrate and show you how all the curves are going to work with the hinges and the fenders and the latches. When you see it up close, it'll all make sense to you. And then with the skin, there's 6 pieces that have been joined together. I've been doing a lot of welding. That's all joined together, a little more metal finishing to do to get the reflections right. And then there's one piece we have to install in the front. You'll see what I'm talking about. So we'll get that done. But before we get into that, we have to make 2 adjustments, one on each side of the front fenders. That's right, we got to go back a little bit in order to go forward. When we had the car outside for the 40th episode, 40th episode, and I got looking at the lines from 100 feet away, there's 2 areas that kind of bothered me. And that was between the cut line between the hood and the fender. It kind of dipped down as it went towards the door. And it didn't look right. So we're going to make that correction, at least prepare to make that correction. I'm going to open things up so that once we get the structure up on top and get the hood in place, we can take and fill those pieces in later. Let's go take a look. All right, so this is the area I was talking about. It dips down as it comes back towards the door. For this line, the cut line to look proper, it should actually be up here. Not a big deal. We'll just cut the top, open it up, peel the structure out, roll up a new piece, join it up, and blend it in. But I need to finalize the edge of the door, as well as get the hood mounted. So once those areas are fixed, and this is fixed, then we can finalize this. Everything else is set. Now this gap here will be corrected once this flange, see if I can get in there with the camera. See, that flange only goes 90 degrees right now. Once you roll it over all the way, then this curvature will return and match that of the fender. And now for something a little bit off topic, we're going to talk about grinders. Now, one of my other videos, I was making a very precise cut, and somebody noticed that I had my hand really close to the end of the grinder. And, well, I feel that gives me more control, but their concern was my finger wasn't on the trigger. And, well, you always want your finger to be on the trigger, right? And in this case, you can see that the trigger doesn't work. There's no juice until that's on. Yeah. So in that way, in that sense, I'm always in control of this grinder, and the grinder's not in control of me. In the event something got away, you could turn it off quickly. The only thing you got to remember is to turn the switch off before you put the grinder down, because the next person that picks it up, you don't want this thing running away on them. You can pick that switch up off the interweb. I got that one off the Jungle website, and it's 120 volt, gets the job done, and that's what I usually use on my reciprocating hammer. So leaves my hands free, and the foot controls the power supply. Anyway, let's get to work and get this top area opened up. Okay, so once that's prepared, I'll get the structure in place, bolted to the hinges, get everything aligned, maybe put a few tacks, maybe not. Make sure the latch works with the structure. There's 2 pieces we've got to fill in, get those pieces in, and then we'll bring the skin in and join the 2 together. Now you might be asking, what do you start with? Do you start with the skin or do you start with the structure? It all depends on you. It depends on your project. Now it might sound like a dumb answer, but just hear me out. If you're confident with your exterior panel, then go right ahead and make the structure when the buck's in place. In the case of this build, we took some liberties when it came to the original styling of a 40 Ford. We brought the hood down, give it a more subtle look. And I wanted to make sure that all those lines worked outside from 100 feet away before we developed the structure. Because if we have to make a revision, then you're modifying the structure and the work just multiplies. So once I was happy with the skin, then the structure was developed, and now we're at this stage here where we can join them up. You're never stuck. It's just a different approach into how you develop your structure or your skin, depending, what you're working to. Now, your next question might be, with the buck gone, how do you develop your structure? All your reference points are gone, right? Not quite. You have the 2 sides of the hood as well as the nose cone. If you saw in episode 54, we had the 2 sides mocked up, flanges turned, and we developed all of our templates to those pieces. So the side templates, the cross pieces, marked everything out on pressed paper, transposed it to sheet metal, fabricated everything in sheet metal, got it in place to those side pieces. Once everything was kind of tacked or on screws, pulled the side pieces off, and then finalized the structure, which brings us to where we are today. So once the structure is in place, I'll show you how all those features work in relation to what we have here. Right now, I just want to get it aligned with the hood clasp and the hinges. Get some bolts in and get this set up. Let's get the prop rod in place. It's a custom touch that we do here for our clients. All natural appearance. Well, in this case, this one's been stained. Uh-oh. Can you guys hold that for me? Yeah, too short. Okay. All right, so I just gave this piece I fabricated a coat of epoxy primer because once it's installed and the skin's on, we won't be able to get into this to give it a coat of primer. Kind of cut it out and fit it in such a way that it kind of overlaps all the joints. So it overlaps the side, but it goes on the inside of this piece. You know, it kind of interweaves with the structure. It gives it more strength that way. And it looks good once it's done. Okay, that's good there. Now, okay, that's good there. So this is sitting a little bit high here. We have to tap it down a bit and then I'm going to get a dolly and blend these corners in the side pieces because this is a soft radius here and it kind of gets sharp. So I want this soft radius to continue all the way down. A little sharper at the top, softer at the bottom, both sides. So I need a dolly. This is going to be tricky. That's going to be it. So these clamps aren't allowing me to get my dolly inside from the back side. So we're going to put a couple little tacks on the corners and then work it in the rest of the way. And that should wrap up this the front area. This piece here, as I mentioned, we'll get that in once the structure is part of the hood. And a little bit wavy through here. That'll be cleaned up again afterwards. Once the two pieces are together, slip the slapper in there and just kind of bring them together and clean it up. Okay, so these four corners tacked, got the clamps off. Now I get in here with the dolly and finish this piece off. Take that back. Getting ahead of myself. That's good. Can never have too many clamps. There we go. So it's brought in nice and tight. Now I can double up on each side of the clamp with a set of tacks and get that kind of fixed into place. This radius here is a little bit tight as compared to the one that comes in through here. So just use a dolly, it's going to radius a little bit by hand. That's going to be it. Feels good. Okay, so I'm just going over everything and making sure that we've addressed everything we need to. That back edge, we'll deal with that when the skin is up into place because I need to establish the proper curvature. This is all done here. That's smooth through there. So we're going to take and trim off this flange up to the blue line. Don't need all that material. And then next time you guys open your eyes, we'll have the skin on. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, lights out. See what happens when you don't hold the dolly properly? I got to bring that up afterwards. But right now, I'm just taking and bringing the edges in to mate up with the fender line. Okay, so we just got the two sections slid together. Because it's a triangle-ish kind of shape, we're able to just start from the front and slide it back and move it into position, line everything up, open it and put a few tacks just to hold it. And now I'm just kind of finalizing and bringing these edges into the fender line. We have a few blocks that were using as spacers earlier. I'm going to take and remove those, clean that up. Don't need that anymore. These curvatures are coming really nice here. There's some plenishing we have to do along the sides. But before any of that happens, we're going to take this hood, unbolt it from the car, take it off, flip it upside down, bring the edges in and make sure that everything is lining up inside. It looks good from here. If you look up from underneath, everything's flowing in really well. We are sitting a little bit high with the hood back here. I gotta see why that's sitting up high. I'm not quite sure, can't see it. But the biggest thing right now, pull these little spacers out, clean the edge of the hood up, the little tacks, and clean these points up. There's a lot of work involved in fitting a skin in terms of this shape to the structure and have everything come out and line up. We still have to do the cut lines for the doors. There's a structural piece that we have to bring up inside here to carry the back edge of the hood. Because you can't have this flopping up and down when you're driving the car. Then we can kind of finalize the rest of the hood. But until those main things are done, we can't go much further. And then, if you notice this cut line here, it does look a little bit big. It's only because that's sitting up high, and we need to add this much material, probably 5/8 of an inch to about nothing here. Create a strip, roll it over, and pick up the structure inside for the fender. Bring that line up so we have a nice consistent line coming all the way back. So a lot of work. It's going to take some more time, but I think we're going to leave this at this point and just kind of call this an episode. But overall, a little bit of weight there, but we'll get little helpers to help lift this up. And what I've been doing right now is kind of finalizing these edges, but I can't finish them entirely because I'm sitting up on the structure here, or on the fender flange. So it has to be rolled down, finished up, so that this line that starts up from the bottom of the grill continues up into this cut line on both sides. It has to be done. So get that finished up, and then the hood will sit down a little bit lower, closing this gap up. It is a little bit large. And then at that point, we can take and finish off the cut line back there between the fender and the hood. That'll be done with the hood off the car because you can't really get in there the way it is. So get that addressed, that hole in the front. I thought about using this as a grab handle to lift the hood. I'm kidding, it's gonna be smoothed out. And then at that point, once everything else is tied into place, then we can go through and finalize and plenish the surface to make sure we have a nice surface. Because right now there's a couple of low spots there, high spot there, but get that done. So in regards to the assembly of this hood, I think we're going to take and turn this into several episodes, because to finish it off today, this week, it's not going to happen. There's a lot of little things to deal with that have to be done before we go ahead and finalize the surface finish of this hood. We got a couple low spots, high spots. They all have to be worked out, but they can't be finished until areas like that are finalized. I appreciate you guys watching. See you guys next time. Take care. To help our channel grow, if you like what you saw, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and share this channel with your friends. Take care, guys.